one touch, two touch, three touch, right? Apple, clear shots towards all-time highs. Apple, one of my favorite looking charts currently. This is actually going to be my main watch coming into market open today. I made $8,000 in 30 minutes trading today, and in today's video, I'm going to break down step by step exactly how I was able to do this. I'm going to be breaking down exactly what I was looking for in the pre-market to my executions in real time. I'm going to be breaking down my entries, my exits, my position sizing, my risk, and my live trading session that was done in front of hundreds of students in real time. So let's get right into the video. As you can see here, I'm on my trade Zella for today. This was Tuesday, October the 15th. This was on Apple. You can see I ended up making $8,200. This was my final P&L. Ended up trading 60 contracts with a net ROI of 96%. As you can see right here, I had the adjusted cost of around $8,500. Ended up making $8,300, which was almost 100% return in 30 minutes. If you scroll down here, what really matters, as I always talk about, is not how much I made, it's how much I risked. So in this case, I was risking around 1.1 on the 235 contracts that ended up being around 30 cents a contract, which ended up equating to around $1,900 worth of risk. So I ended up risking around $1,900 to make over $8,200. So that was a 4.31 risk reward ratio, which was absolutely beautiful. This was a super solid A+ setup on the higher time frames. As you can see, these are my executions as well, right? I ended up having super solid entry close to market open, and then I was essentially selling into strength as we approach our higher time frame objective, which I'm going to be showing you guys as well. I'm also going to be popping up my interactive brokers executions that was on TWS, so you guys know that I traded this in real time as well. So if you go into the setups that I was looking for coming into today, right, what we had was the gap and go. I've talked about this setup being one of my favorite setups of all time, being a gap and go above key levels, and I'm looking for that continuation towards the upside. In this case, what we had was an A+ setup. So I had an A+ setup on this ticker. I'm going to be showing you guys what I was looking for on the higher time frames. We also had an opening drive, and we also had an opening range break and retest as well. So now we can go on to my pre-market prep. Before I go and show the video, I want to mention that I do this every single morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a reason why I do these pre-market preps, so you guys are well prepared coming into market open. I feel like a lot of people aren't taking advantage. I do this every single morning. I lay out my full game plan, and still some people won't take advantage of this, which is absolutely crazy to me. So I'm going to be showing you guys a glimpse of the pre-market prep and exactly what I was looking for coming into market open. Let's go into Apple. Apple actually has the chart. I was actually looking at Apple this morning. Apple, one of my favorite looking charts currently. This one, now we're above our 232 as well, right? Apple, clear shots towards all-time highs. As you can see, this is going to be your all-time highs, which is your 237. This is actually going to be my main watch coming into market open today is Apple. Currently, as you can see, right, multiple touches, one touch, two touch, three touch at 232. And you can see right now, currently in the pre-market, right, we're above our 232. What I expect to happen is a gap and go today. And I expect price to push towards that all-time highs level, which is your 237. So now we're on the trading view chart, and I want to explain a little bit more in depth on exactly what I was looking for in the pre-market on Apple, why I was so bullish, and why I was looking for that all-time highs on Apple. So as you can see, this is the daily chart coming into market open. And as you can see, we have multiple touches around this key area, right? So we have multiple touches around this 234 key area, and coming into pre-market, we're actually above that 234. So we were actually above that 234 level, and really the next higher time frame objective, if we can get above the 234, is your all-time highs being your 237 key area. So you can see on the 1 hour time frame now, as I kind of zoom out here, you can see what we have is multiple touches. So we have multiple touches around this 233 key area. And you can see in the pre-market, we have a very strong push towards the upside. So we have a very strong push towards the upside in the pre-market. We're actually above our key area, which is our 233. So if we're above our key area, as you can see, multiple touches, as I mentioned, what are we going to be looking for? This is a clear level of resistance. What we're going to be looking for now is basically a break above which has already happened. We're going to be looking for a retest of this 233 area for continuations back towards where that all-time highs, right? The all-time highs is a clear draw on liquidity. Basically, that all-time highs level acts as a magnet for price to gravitate towards. So that's why I was so bullish coming into today. And as long as we maintain above 233, I am bullish, and I do expect price to gravitate towards that 237 key area on the higher time frames. This was the only chart that I was looking at coming into market open. This had relative strength. The higher time frame was looking good. This to me was screaming that I wanted to head towards that all-time highs level, and that's exactly what we got. If we go on to the lower time frames now, coming into market open, so you can see coming into market open, what we have is the hold of our 233 key area. You can see that price is holding our key area. You can see that the buyers are stepping in off our 233, off our 233.50 level. You can see this 5-minute close very much bullish. So I'm expecting price now to gravitate back towards the upside. You can see price end up having a very nice move really straight towards our higher time frame objective, which was our 237.21, which is that all-time highs level on Apple. You can see price perfectly gravitated towards that level, which was that draw that I was talking about. And that's where I end up selling majority of my position for a super solid win on Apple. If you go onto the 1-minute time frame here, you can see that price right off the bat. You have your first red candle, but as soon as it got back above, reclaimed your 233, the 5-minute close bullish, the 1-minute super strong push up, retest of your opening candle range, and then we had that continuations back towards the upside. So as soon as price closed back above our opening candle range, right, that's where you can risk off of the lows, and you can look for that continuations towards your pre-market highs and your higher time frame objective, which was that all-time high. So it ended up being an absolutely beautiful trade. And now I'm going to be breaking down my live session and exactly what I was looking for in real time. Only thing that I do see in my main watch coming into today is going to be Apple, right? Apple and a hold of your 232 or a hold of your 232. I like to see this area be used as essentially a retest. As you can see, there's multiple touches here, right? This is the exact area that I want to see it come down into market open. And you can see in market open, it's actually it's coming back down towards your 232. So your 232, as long as you hold your 232, I expect this to be a gap and go, dip and rip for continuations back towards the high. So this could be my main watch coming into today, is a hold of your 232 on Apple for that continued move back towards the upside. Yeah, keep an eye on Apple here. If it was the trade, it would be at the reclaim, and you'd be looking at the 235s. So right there, I mentioned you can be looking for the reclaim of your 233.60, which is basically your opening candle print high. If you can reclaim that level, we should be good for long positions towards basically back towards the highs and that all-time highs level. You can either look to play the reclaim of your opening candle, or you can look to play the opening range break and retest. Yeah, I'm actually okay, I got some of the Apple, the 135 call, sorry, the 235 calls. So you can see right there, I mentioned I had the 235 calls on Apple. The thesis was that we're gonna hold this opening range candle, and I like to see that continued push back towards the upside. In this case, you could have either played the reclaim or you could play the opening range break and retest. Either entry works. It's basically the same trade with the same risk amount, and you're looking for that higher time frame objective, which is your 237.24 on the higher time frames. I'm expecting it to gravitate towards the upside here, towards your pre-market highs with the Qs pushing here, and then I like to see it move. Apple, this one has clear higher time frames. This one has a shot towards your 237. Apple, now what you want to see is this 234 hold. It's above your pre-market high here. You can see the relative strength compared to the QQQs. Right here is at like 235, and then really above that, really there's a clear shot towards your 237 on the higher time frames on Apple. Yeah, Apple, nice push here, clear relative strength. I outlined this in the market open. First step essentially got bought up. Now we should see a move pretty clearly. You can see the relative strength compared to the Qs. Qs actually end up hitting the 198 or 498.80, sorry, 498.46. A little bit of a reject off that level. You see Apple, that relative strength kicking in. These contracts are printing. Yeah, Apple, as I mentioned, next really clear level is at 237 on that higher time frames, but you can see the relative strength there. You can kind of scale along the ways. Me, I'm in a decent amount of my position. I'm just gonna look to kind of scale bar by bar for a move towards towards upside. So you can see right there, I'm mentioning the relative strength. We have clear targets being your 237.24, which is your all-time highs. Clear relative strength, as you can see, right? This is a clear demonstration. If you're comparing the left-hand side with the right-hand side, you can see that Apple clear push towards the upside, where the Qs is really just kind of inside the range. This was just due to the higher time frames and also intraday relative strength as well. So this is a clear description of relative strength. I know a lot of people ask me relative strength, how do you see it? Right, you see this during in real time, right? It's hard to show examples in hindsight of relative strength, but this is a clear picture, as you can see right here. Just comparing the two charts, what's standing out to me is that relative strength on Apple, which is on the right hand side of the chart. Apple, look at this relative strength that I was talking about. Outline this, I mean, pretty clear in pre-market open. This is going to be the main watch coming into today. So yeah, you see the relative strength kicking in. The contracts are absolutely printing now. They're 250 contract for the 235s. Apple, I mean, there's a clear shot, as I mentioned, towards 237. We'll see. Yeah, as long as you can kind of bar by bar so far, not a single reason to sell on Apple. All-time highs, 237.24s. 236, if you want to split it, right? 236 can be the level you can take some, but then 237 is really the clear main target. As I mentioned right there, clear relative strength. There's not a reason to sell on Apple. This is the one that you want to hold. If you're going to hold any trade, this is the one to hold it, right? Clear shots towards all-time highs. That's your clear level of resistance. I don't know what else to say. I outlined this pretty clearly in the pre-market. Hopefully some of you are able to catch that if you're watching that pre-market prep. Yeah, these contracts are absolutely printing. They're about to approach $3 a con. Relative strength so far, I mean, still, there's only been two down close candles so far on Apple. 236. If the Qs coming to 10 here can kind of gravitate back towards the highs. So yeah, really, that's what your only 1 minute order block on Apple. We do have an order block all the way down towards 941. Technically, this is a down close candle, so we'll see if we can use this as support or move up towards that 237. Yep, and now there's all-time highs, and I can bar by bar it. Since it's at all-time highs, you can bar by bar it. Look to scale on this like kind of push here. So 238 probably the top of the range for a bit, but you can bar by bar it now. So yeah, you can see right there. I mentioned I basically took off 90% of my position. I'm gonna leave 10%, which ended up getting stopped out. But absolutely beautiful trade that actually ended up being the top of the range for the day as well. Super solid trade on Apple. Hope you guys enjoyed that full in-depth breakdown. I think it's pretty cool to see what I was looking for coming to the pre-market, how I executed in real time. I feel like no one shows this. So this is a pretty cool video. I don't see anyone else showing this type of footage. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you guys drop me a like and sub. And I'll see you guys next week for a brand new video. Peace.